Hello and welcome back to Cover Slaves. We're supposed to care about saying that. So, on this particular week's edition, we're going to be playing a 50-100 point game. I myself is Crabblesworth and this is Lutnit.
Hello.
And yeah, we're practicing, or at least I'm practicing, for Golden Skull 3 coming up at FDB over on the Quebec side of Fleur de Bataille. So it's going to be...
And I'm a punching bag because I'm not going.
You're just punching bag all the time anyway. But I'll be on the 18th of April, a Saturday I believe, good times. So yeah. I'm running Raptors, Lars Isodon, Carl's running what? Imperial Guard?
Imperial Guard. Or as some misguided fools call it, Astra Militarum.
Astra Militarum! Astra Copyright-tarum. So yeah, this will be interesting. We're running kind of a custom scenario, whatever, mission from their packet. So it's, what was it, Emperor's Will times 2?
Yeah, it's
2 in each deployment zone.
Except it's got the special line breaker.
Yeah, you can accumulate line breaker
as many times as you want.
But the whole unit has to be in, right?
Yeah, not just one model. The whole entire unit has to be within 12 inches.
So it'll be interesting. It's going to be Vanguard deployment. We don't usually do Vanguard, so this will be...
Oh, I didn't realize it was Vanguard, but oh, sorry.
Well, this is all your fault, huh?
Fuck!
So, I mean, you can't really do that one corners, but yeah, Vanguard. We'll see you
after we find some protractors and compasses.
And
some compis.
And is that actually the plural?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Oh my god, compi. Is that even a swear word? I don't know. You tell us, YouTube community. Alright, so we'll be back talking about terrain in our armies, and Carl may or may not offer up dick pics today, I don't know. Okay, so this is my 1500 point Raptors count as Deathwatch list. Up front here we got my man Elias Isodon, who's good at being Elias Isodon. With him we have Devastator Centurions with Grav and Missile. Over here we got 5 scouts in a Landspear Storm, and the sergeant's got melta bombs. We have 5 sniper scouts, I believe with camo cloaks, because I'm trying something. We have 2 Razorbacks, Las Plaz, and 2 combat squads with plasma guns. And over here we got a Thunderfire Cannon. Behind there we've got a Forge-rolled count as Sicaran battle tank. And it's got some las cannons on it, and I've also given it the War of Murder, which makes it guys within 6 inches of fearless, and it's got Monster Hunter on all its shooting. Back here we got another combat squad in a pod with melta gun and a combi melt on the sergeant. And last but not least, we got a Storm Talon with Skyhammer missiles. So that's 1500 points, and he has a fixed warlord trait, which is Master of Anguish.
So this is 1500 points of Imperial Guard. We got a company command squad up front, commander, 2 plasma guns in a Chimera, 3 veteran squads, 2 triple plasma squads are in Chimeras. 1 has shotguns and melta guns. They will probably, during deployment, go into the Torox Prime for the Stormtroopers, since the Stormtroopers will most likely deep strike. 3 armored sentinels with autocannons. They have extra armor because they're strong-minded, even though their faces are showing.
What's the narrative?
Vendetta, bare bones, triple out twin glass cannons, a Manticore, a Wyvern, and a, what's it called? Lehman Russ Demolisher with hull las cannon. And the Warlord trait I rolled for, I'm trying to put myself at a disadvantage, so I rolled on the Imperial Guard trait table, so I got D3 units can outflank. So I'll roll for that before I deploy.
As you can see, there are many a red stick, a GW Rippy stick in fact. Vanguard Strike, we don't really do it often, but of course this scenario packet has it. This is generally why we don't do Vanguard Strike very often. We tend to replace it with corners. With corners, it was pretty simple. You had one measurement of 24 inches and one of 36, and you put a dice down and you're pretty much fucking done. So on this board, it would have required us putting a dice about here. That would be the hard job. But no, Vanguard Strike. Here the problem is, obviously this line is as straight as we can make it, but you then have to measure 12 inches for that for your deployment zone. Very often when we've played Vanguard in the past, stuff is, we noticed afterwards that it's out of its deployment zone. It's just bad. 7th edition has some good things, but Vanguard Strike is not one of them. So, with that said, I'll move on to explaining the terrain, because we're decent people, and we discuss terrain. So, usually we play with some of our own house rules, like destructible terrain. We're going to be pulling back from that a little bit, just because their tournament uses its own terrain rules, yada yada yada. So the usual destructible wrecks aren't in. The wrecks will just play as impassable, as well as our own wrecks. We still think wrecks should be like that, just because we don't want people putting their models on our models. Ruins are ruins. We're going to play them most of the way we usually play them. So, you can't melt through walls. You can go through where the doors are, like such as here, or over there, or over there. If you pan over here, we've got a hill. The hill is difficult only when you're going from level to level. If you're just moving flat across it, it's not difficult. Similarly, if you charge somebody, same thing. If you're charging up a level, you need grenades, yada yada yada, to fight at same initiative, and so on. Statues. Statues just give you a 4+ cover save, but they don't really give you any special rules. Most cover saves on the board are 4+, with the exception of low cover, which is any of the boxes or oil drums that you're seeing there. Usually, again, we play those as destructible, but won't be doing so today. So yeah, that is our board. A lot of ruins, a little bit of low cover, big OS blocker in the center to keep it fair. Don't know if the tournament will have this much terrain, but better to start with more terrain and pull it back than not at all. Oh, I also forgot to mention that we have objectives on the board. Again, as part of the scenario, you have to put 2 Emperors with objectives in each deployment zone. So, got one here along this road back here. We've got one down here in this large ruin. We've got one just in front of the door on that ruin down there. And last but not least, we've got one beside that really ruined ruin. It's extra ruin. So yeah, I think Lieutenant won the rule to pick deployment zones, but I won the rule to deploy first, so we deploy first. Marines won the role for deployment. So I decided to deploy first, see its deployment, then decided to go first. Starting over here. So back here I've got my Forge Rules Sakaran battle tank next to an objective there. Next to it, I infiltrated in some sniper scouts up in this building here. Next to them, I infiltrated in my Razorback combat squad. Moving down over here. Infiltrated in the Landspeeder Storm with the scouts there. Back behind here, we've got my Thunderfire next to that objective, and he's reinforced this building, so it has a 3+ cover. Linus Isodon, the badass here, is with his homies, the Death Centurions who infiltrated. And unfortunately couldn't scout them, but because they're heavy. And then I've got another combat squad here that infiltrated, so yeah, pulling some tricks. In Linus Isodon's pregame nonsense, yes, he does get to attack things before the game began. I chose to target Lieutenant's Wyvern, causing a single hull point, as you can see. Wah wah. So, yeah, interesting. I guess I'll talk about my reserves. In reserve, coming down turn 1 is this combat squad here with Come Melta Melta. And in actual reserve, I've got my Storm Talon there.
So this is Imperial Guard deployment. So starting over here, I had no infiltrators or anything, so everything is in the deployment zone. So we've got Veteran Squad with Plasma in a Chimera, hiding behind a building. Manticore in the back. Under the roof is the Meltagun Veteran Squad, and there's an empty Torox Prime here, so they'll be jumping in, hopefully, before they get killed. Command Squad, 2 Plasma here. The Wyvern that has already lost a hull point due to Isodon Cheddar Cheeseman.
Porting narrative.
And deploy this guy fairly far over, just try to keep the infiltrators back, because I know he's got Master of Ambush, so the other Veteran Squad is here. So we can then talk about my reserves, since I did manage to get 3 units to outflank with my Whirlwind Trait. So in reserve, there is an outflanking Vendetta, which gets to outflank again, like he did in 5th. 3 Armored Sentinels with auto cannons and the Demolisher with the las cannon, and the Stormtroopers with the 2 plasma guns will be deep striking.
So it's the end of Deathwatch, aka Raptors, turn 1. Let me tell you about it. Much down. So let's start over here. My Sakaran battle tank, with all its glory and honor, targeted Lieutenant's Command Chimera there, and did nothing. The few things I did do, Chimera made his 3+ cover save because we did roll Night Fight, which we may or may not have mentioned. Moving down, this Razorback here took a shot or 2 at Lieutenant's Wyvern just behind that ruin, and I believe it caused a damaged weapon. So one of his Shatter Shard mortar launchers did not really work. Up here, these scouts did nothing because I'm stupid. This speeder kind of moved around, didn't quite figure out what I wanted to do, ended up turbo boosting back here to kind of dissuade deep strikers. My pod came down over here and disgorged its homies. They're hiding under the floor because they're deathly afraid of that wyvern. Over here, we got my Death Centurions with Lias Isidon. I forgot to fire them because I'm an idiot.
Ooh.
And, well, I can only see one guy anyway. It's not a big loss. And the Razorback blew up that Chimera, killing 5 out of 10 of its occupants. So, not a bad turn. Got first blood from that Chimera.
Thunderfire.
Thunderfire also helped. So, that's cool. And, yeah. I will see you at the end of, or we will see you at the end of Imperial Guard turn 1.
The end of Imperial Guard turn 1. So, starting over here, somewhat eventful turn. This Chimera kind of moved up 6 inches, opened fire on the Rhino that was there, Razorback. The guns did nothing, got a lucky pen, and it explodes with a plasma gun, so then they ended up sitting out in the cold. Back here, the Manticore fired a missile at the Centurions and caused a number of wounds, but they still have 2+ armor, so it's irrelevant. Again, my losing faith in Manticores. The squad under here actually didn't get in the Torox Prime, decided to stay there, so they kind of moved further in, so they're blocking the door, holding the objective. The command tank turned, they opened fire and managed to kill 2 of the Space Marines from that squad there. They didn't fall back though. The Wyvern fired at the same units. Yes, actually, it caused one of the wounds in the command squad, the other one, that's right. So they did that. The Torox Prime fired over the wreck into the Centurions and actually managed to inflict a wound with strength 4 AP nothing weapons. And finally, this veteran squad here, they moved behind the wreck to try to get out of line of sight of the Centurions, and they also managed to get 4 penetrating hits with 4 shots. All 5s as well, so there's no explosion, like 5 + 1. So
Second blood.
And all the pens were with 5s and 6s, so it was just kind of weird. Anyway, so popped a couple transports, killed 2 Marines, put a wound on a Centurion. So that's the end of Imperial Guard turn 1. So we'll see you at the end of Space Marine turn 2.
It's the end of Space Marines, aka Raptors turn 2. Starting over here. My Storm Talon gunship came in from reserve, unaided by Lias Isidon's Warlord, or whatever abilities. He moved 18 on from the edge, and he engaged with that Chimera, wrecking it. The unit took several casualties and bailed out. I think it took 2. The Thunderfire finished off what you see there, so they are currently pinned because they went to ground. This 3-man combat squad put a couple extra casualties in there to help out with things. Back here, my Landspear Storm moved, then turbo boosted all the way over here, anticipating a possible outflank on this flank. Moving down. This is interesting. Snipers are pretty much shit in 40k, but I actually managed to cause a hull point, I believe, to that Chimera. So, you know, dare to dream.
You shook it.
I shook it. I shook it like a British nanny. This Karen here did nothing. He keeps whiffing because as much as it is great to deny Jink, you're not denying cover, which would be slightly more important. And also the thing I gave it was Monster Hunter, so unless I'm playing, you know, MCs, not a big thing. Moving on down here, my Thunderfires, as I said, it helped over there. The guys that are underneath Honey here just continue to hide underneath there. The pod surprisingly chose not to move. Moving on down here to my Devastator Centurions with Lias Isidon. They moved an appropriate 4 inches from taking their difficult terrain test for moving through that gap. And engaged with both the Wyvern and the Torox Prime, causing respective damages seen there. I think I did nothing to the Wyvern and a hull point to the Prime.
And immobilization.
And immobilization, because Death Centurions are broken. And certainly not least but last, over here, the guys who bailed out of this Razorback fled through the door, and now they're hiding in here. No objective there, I'm just really hoping for line breaker. So, all in all, I'd say it was a fairly eventful turn for the Raptors, aka Deathwatch. See you at the end of Imperial Guard turn 2.
The end of Imperial Guard turn 2. So, starting out with reserves, my Vendetta came in over here. It flew on, fired the last cannons at the Skitari Scorpion. Sikaran. And I managed to, I believe, shake it and take off 2 hull points.
You did.
So the other reserve that came in over here was the deep striking Stormtroopers. So they came in and they managed to put a wound on Sicarius.
Lias
Isidon. Liam Neeson. And the third reserve that came in was the Sentinels, who managed to whiff and not kill any of the guys underneath the roof. So, moving over to here. Oh, everything's wobbling. These guys popped out, fired at the Sentinels. Centurions, I need to get more sleep. They managed down 2 of them. One of them already had a wound on it, so it took 3 wounds. So that's good that I killed them, because I don't like them. One of them, stormtroopers, died from overheating, but they put the 1 wound on him. Over here, the Torox Prime also fired at the Sentinels, but he didn't kill anything.
Centurions.
Jesus.
I'm the drunk one.
The Wyvern fired over here at these guys here, but scattered off the table, even with the reroll. Well, the first roll would have missed, and the second one was off the table. These guys moved, just kind of turned a little, trying to keep front arc on multiple things here. The multi-laser tried to do some snapshots at the flyer thing and didn't hurt it.
Storm Raven. Storm Tower.
The 1 unit stayed under here. They fired and didn't do anything because they're pinned. The Manticore here launched a missile. I didn't turn the turret.
Oh my god.
Shooting at the giant sperm, black sperm, drop pod. So there was 1 hit on the pod, and then I got a hit for the second one. So I managed to position it so the center was on the ground, put a wound on the Thunderfire cannon, and killed 2 of the tactical marines that were there. They're just out of 6 inches of the Sicarian. Is it Sicarian? Sicaran. So they're not fearless, and they fell back 10 inches off the board. That's why they're not there anymore. So, so yeah, I said I hated Manticores, but now it's doing something. So only because I said it didn't do anything. Anyway, we will see you Eventful Imperial Guard turn 2. We'll see you at the end of Space Marine turn 3.
So it is the end of Raptors, aka Deathwatch, turn 3. Starting over here. So, me being the creative young gentleman that I am, decided to switch to hover mode for my Storm Talon to proceed to shoot him in the bum. But snapfiring being what it is, I did nothing. The scouts, as well as the Storm, also fired at his bum. Didn't do anything. Over here, this 3-man combat squad just kind of chilled. The scouts up in this...
No, they shot at the Vendetta too.
Oh, wait, this plasma did. The scouts shot at it and at least got a hit, which is the only hit we got. But unfortunately didn't roll another 6, so it almost seems like averages matter in a game of dice. Moving down, my Sicaran, who denies Jink, also shot at it and did nothing.
I'd just like to point out that in total there were 40 dice rolled and a single hit.
Wow. Math. As we go down, my Fun to Fire fired, targeting Carl's Wyvern, and it scattered, and I got a couple hits on his Chimera, wrecking it, and homies bailed out. And I did get a couple hits on his Wyvern, but failed to pen or glance raw. Lias Isidon, being the scholarly fellow that he is, moved through a grenade and then charged the Stormtrooper squad that was there, killing 2 and then cutting them down when they ran from combat. That's the first combat he's ever won. This Lone Diff Centurion fired at Lieutenant's squad there, I think killing 1 guy.
Yep.
And then tried to charge. Yeah.
Well, you killed 3 and then I got a cover save.
So I didn't get my 10-inch charge, so that didn't work out. And I took a wound while trying to charge from Overwatch. Over here, these guys moved out of the door and around here to kind of get away from the Sentinels for obvious reasons. And I tried to run them, getting a whopping 2 inches. So I'm just trying to get away from them. So overall, I'd say it was a mixed turn, not terrible. Still very concerned about that Vendetta, kind of ruined my day. So, we'll see you at the end of Imperial Guard turn 3.
End of Imperial Guard turn 3. So, starting back here. The Vendetta had no targets without going to hover mode, didn't want to risk it, so he flew off the board. Over here, the 2 guardsmen that survived kind of took cover so they can try to survive. The Manticore launched a missile. I criticized him at the beginning, and now he's really doing well. So he actually missed. He scattered by 8 inches, but then I just flipped it back because I had 2 missiles. So I immobilized the scouts. I don't know what I was about to call them. Guys are still chilling down here. The Beretta, no. Vendetta, no, that flew off. Wyvern, backed. I'll remember these names eventually. He backed up 6 inches, and he ended up firing over here and actually killed 2 Dude Cats, Tactical Marines. So the command squad who lost their Chimera ran and jumped into this Torox Prime, which then fired and killed the Centurion, the last Centurion, so the Centurions are gone. These guys here had an overheat, and then the Centurion made the cover saves from him, so that they fired first, that's why. And these Sentinels did absolutely nothing to these Tactical Marines. So it was a relatively eventful turn, I suppose. So, oh, my Lehman Russ still didn't come in, that's why he's not here. So we'll see you at the end of Space Marine turn 4.
So, it is the end of Raptors Deathwatch turn 4. An eventful turn. Let me tell you about it. Start over here. So, he was immobilized. Unfortunately, my Lancer Storm. These scouts got out 6. Oh, and then ran an additional 5. Down here, some success. My Talon turned back into a flyer, turned and fired on that Manticore and wrecking him with a bunch of lances. No explosion, unfortunately. That's what I really wanted, to kill the bastards that are hiding out underneath there. But, c'est la vie. These fine young gentlemen saved their firing, assaulted 2 guardsmen there, killing 1 and then cutting the other down when he ran. Moving on down over here, the scouts are trying to get their way towards the objective just in case. So they got down and ran a little bit. Not quite getting all the way down, but most of them got down. My Sakaran moved 6 inches, turning to face those Sentinels. And thankfully I was in their side armor, which is 10. And I managed to wipe them out. So although he hasn't been doing good early in the game, that was pretty significant. I'm happy about that. My Thunder Fire engaged all the way over there on Carl's Wyvern, but scattered 7 off the board, so that was unfortunate. Moseying on over, we got Lias Isodon moved up there, attempted to charge, but rolled 3. The other 2 Marines you saw there did actually get their charge off and wiped the 3-man unit, so that's good. Basically what I have to worry about now is Lieutenant's Vendetta that could come in from reserve and fuck me up. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive. I think I might pull this one out. We'll see you at the end of Imperial Guard turn 4.
The end of Imperial Guard turn 4. So for reserves, I thought I had to roll for my Lehman Russ. I didn't realize it comes on automatically in turn 4. I thought it was turn 5 for some reason. I've never had reserves go this far on 7th, I don't think. So Demolisher rolled on, fired a Demolisher cannon, and killed 4 of the 5 scouts, including the Sergeant, who was the one with the melt bomb. So moving over to here, we had a bit of a debacle here, and things have moved since. So some of the guys went out the door, and then the command squad got out of here. Then in the shooting phase, he ordered them to shoot and then run so I could get back under the roof. And then they were going to fire at the 2 tactical Marines that were here. I rolled a 1, 1, and a 2 from my melta gun, so I didn't kill them. So then they ran back inside. So these guys here ordered themselves to ignore cover, but the plasma gun failed to wound anyway. The Vendetta came back on, moved up here from ongoing reserves, and shot down the Talon, Storm Talon. The Wyvern is facing the wrong way. Fired and killed 1 of the 2 Space Marines, so that guy fell back, but he can auto-rally anyway, because Space Marines are, pure cheddar. And the last unit, the Torox Prime, fired its weapons and killed the 2 Space Marines that were surviving here. So I still got Isodon over there. And that's the end of Imperial Guard turn 4, so we'll see you at the end of Space Marine turn 5.
So it is the end of Space Marines, Raptors, Deathwatch, turn 5. Starting over here. So that was a bit problematic. So I fired my Sakaran at him, causing a whole hull point. Moving on to yonder over here, my guy regrouped and ran. Rolled Snake Eyes for his difficult terrain, and then I ran him 5 or 6 inches. That was
4.
400. Moving down, these scouts moved and ran. This lone scout in between the lovely lady parts of this Sakaran is also hiding. Still got my Thunderfire back here, which I now realize I forgot to fire. Fuck. and my objective secured drop pod because GW is really running on fumes. Elias Isidon is over here. Kept him within 12 inch to hopefully get an extra line breaker or a line breaker out of him. So yeah, it ends here. It'll probably be like a tie or something. I don't really know. Letnet still has his turn 5, so we'll see you at the end of Imperial Guard turn 5.
End of Imperial Guard turn 5, and we rolled a 1, so it's also the end of the game. So, starting right here, Command Squad moved up, ordered themselves to ignore cover to shoot the lone surviving Tactical Marine, and they failed terribly because they suck. They missed. However, the lots of guns on this thing managed to fire 14 shots or whatever and finally finish him. The Wyvern tried to shoot at the scouts that were back there and missed completely even with the reroll. The Vendetta turned, flew over here, and managed to take the last hull point off of the Sikaran. So it didn't explode, just sitting there. And then finally, the Demolisher cannon off of that fired at the scouts, and he could clearly see 4 of them, but the closest model was in cover. Therefore, the entire unit gets a 3+ cover save until that model's dead, so he just passes 3+ cover saves because 7th edition is, well, 40k in general is fucking stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, so I killed the one guy that was between the lady's legs anyway. So that's the end of the game. So we've got 6 points for guard, 2 objectives, 1 here held by the guys in the building, 1 here held by the Wyvern. And then I've also got Line Breaker over there. So I have a total of 7. Space Marines have both objectives for 6, and they have Line Breaker with Isidon and First Blood for 8. So the final score is 8-7 for the Space Marines. So very close game. So we'll see you in the post game.
In fairness, I was very skilled at going first.
So, welcome to the post-game show, and happy Easter to all our religious people watching.
Zombie Jesus Day?
Zombie Jesus Day. So, Carl, what was your MVP?
The Manticore! Considering I...
Hull, they're cheap.
Of course they're hollow. It weighs nothing.
Lint.
It's like one of the oldest food companies, too. Oh.
Go ahead.
The Manticore, I bashed it, I hated it. I said they're nowhere near as good in 7th as they were before, which is true. They're not, unbelievably awesome anymore, but they're still pretty good. Killed a bunch of stuff, performed better than I thought it would. I was a lucky hero with the 1 unit that fell back. That wasn't the Manticore being awesome, that was just you being unlucky. So that would be my MVP. Who was your MVP? Crabblesworth?
That's not an easy question.
Scout Sergeant 3?
No, I honestly, I'm compelled to say the Sikaran, only because of that really awesome volley where he killed the 3 armored sentinels. Because I can't really think of that much, maybe the Thunderfire when I remember to fire. No, I don't know, I'll still go with the Sikaran. Not that it really meant, it only mattered hugely for the game, because it's only, once I got away from you, I don't think I would catch up really. But, no, metaphorically speaking, even though it died.
I lived to the end, though, last turn. Death.
Yeah. What was your epic fail?
Who died first?
What was First Blood? Wasn't it Chimera or something? Yeah, it was Chimera, I think.
Yeah, it was random Chimera. The thing is, it still forced you to deploy a little bit further back, and the squad that got out ended up killing most of your Centurions.
They gunned me the fuck down. That was awesome, actually.
Yeah.
They took 6 shots, 6 hits, 6 wounds. Alright.
So actually, maybe the Chimera itself, but not the squad that was in it.
Okay.
Yeah. That one random
Chimera.
Chimera. Not random, specific.
I'm gonna go with Dev Centurions for epic fail.
What did they kill this game?
Nothing. I think they killed 2 guardsmen or
They
something.
killed 2 of the guardsmen. One was a plasma gun, though.
No, I didn't position them very well. I don't even know why I put them that far out. I'm so used to there being other infiltrators on the other side, so I have to be careful where I put things. And okay. No, I'm gonna go with them. They're not good.
Alright.
If you could change anything in your list, what would you change and why?
the Stormtroopers didn't perform very well, but they did scatter quite a bit off their deep strike.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be lining up for that, but again, that's a gamble.
They did make my asshole pucker a little bit, so.
And they're more of a method of getting the Torox Prime, which is a very effective unit. So
price you pay.
At the same time, I wouldn't take them out.
It's a cheap enough bet if there's no talent involved.
I don't know. I'd probably, well, actually, okay, what I would change, I would definitely swap out the auto cannons on the Sentinels for the multi-lasers just for the extra shots.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting half of them, so 3 7s versus 4.5, 6.
4.5, 6s.
Yeah.
I had 20 points free, so I spent 15 points to upgrade them all, and then in retrospect, that was actually almost like paying points for a downgrade at that point. Because of what they were going after in this.
I mean, seeing as like there's just, you're not going to pen anything really ever, so, and even then it's the whole point anyways. So.
Yeah.
Having no real meaningful AP does not matter. Plus 15 points, I mean, God, you get like a soda for that.
It's called Pop, we're not American.
Pop.
So what would you change in your list if you had the chance for the same
Soft
game?
Drink.
Would you not have gotten as drunk during the game?
Probably. My list is pretty okay. I miss having Tank Hunter on the Sakaran, but I am content with War of Murder, which gives me Monster Hunter. It just so happens that you're for some reason not playing with 4 or 5 other fucking codexes, so you really should have more MCs, Carl. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, I need Riptides to support my Demolishers.
Yeah.
And Knights.
You're very stubborn. You have to live with the new paradigm of this game being stupid. So
yeah,
I would change that. No, I don't know. If I could like restart my tournament list, I don't really know. I might trade the Thunderfire for the Sakaran, or not Sakaran, the Scorpius again. I'd have to find 30 points somewhere. I don't know, 25. The reason I like the Thunderfire is it's cheap and I can reinforce terrain.
Yeah, true.
The Sakaran is fine. It's just, it's not that long range. It's only 48, so if I'm in a corner, that's bad. And no one likes me afterwards, so there's that.
It's not too reliable either because it's D3 plus 1 shots, I think.
Yeah, and only if you don't move.
Yeah.
So I guess tournament doesn't count, but yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's pretty set in stone because the tournament's on the 18th, so we're changing it now. I'm playing Desk on Tuesdays, so we'll see how that goes. Well, Marine on Marine practice, likely. But yeah, I mean, we don't, what armies we'll see anyway. I'm just assuming there'll be some Eldar there at some point, so.
Eldar Town, Necrons.
Shmeldar. Carl, what do you think of 7th edition?
Yes, this every time. My opinion doesn't really change.
Maybe it's better now. You almost won a game, man.
With Guard. Now, some people might be wondering if it was supposed to be tournament practice, why didn't I take my Tau? And the thing is, I'm actually getting bored of winning. That's actually a thing. And I'm tired of seeing Ben sad.
At first I was excited by the prospect of an entire army that's twin-linked, and then I had to play it several times, and the walls of my anal cavities are kind of failing this time, so I can't do it anymore, Crown.
Yeah, my problem with 7th Ed, still the same as before, it's just the people. I actually got in a talk with some people in a local gaming store, and they were talking about how stupid it is that their Tyranids have to deploy 12 inches away from their knight, and then their orcs have to deploy 12 inches on the other side.
And they have to wait a turn to summon their demon.
So that kind of made me think that I didn't ever want to go back to that store again. No names will be mentioned.
My policy is don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, they're doing it because someone lets them do it.
Yeah, but they're entitled about it. And if you try to take it away, they're going to fight you tooth and nail.
They also don't paint. Like, they play with
yeah, very true.
I mean,
so,
yeah. I don't know. It's not a shocker there.
No.
I think who's at fault is GW for letting them do the stupidest, most obnoxious things to each other.
So what are your thoughts on 7th edition?
I think you can make it work if you just
break
cut out the stupid, but the stupid is coming at you from all sides. It's got unlimited outflank, so I don't know. I'm really upset with Harlequins and Adeptus Mechanicus not being actual factions, pseudo-codexes. They don't even give you an HQ choice. They don't even let you try to make an FOC CAD, whatever you want to call it, out of it. It's no! You have to buy this much shit to give us money. Okay, you want to start this army? This is what's funny. The whole auspice, the whole idea of the allies thing was a little bit of flavor, you can tell a cool story.
And now you can't even really do the allies with a lot of the new stuff because they realize that would cost them, or they wouldn't make as much essentially if you could just take like 2 little squads and a dude.
Mandatory formations.
Right, so it's like no, you can't just take 2 squads and a dude. You need a jetpack and a dirt, whatever. And formations are what they are, but a lot of them are really stupid. Some of them are completely benign, but a lot of them are awful. Like it feels, as we said before, like we're being forced, metaphorically, to play Apocalypse. And we just want to play 40k.
Some people think that's good.
We just want to play 40k. Even when Apocalypse was around in 5th, like we played it like twice. Like it's like, hey, this took 20 hours. Maybe we don't do this again. Like it's just, I don't know.
Well, technically, this game took us 9 hours.
But that's just 7th edition. I mean, we needed to roll 14 times to see if like one guy got shot from something. Or like it's just
there's also because of the frigid bitch in Swiss Chalet who gave us terrible service at our table when we went for lunch before.
Damn it! But it was damn fine chicken. Every fucking chicken in that room. No,
fuck the king.
Fuck the king. I think we're very like morose sounding. Like we obviously enjoyed this game. This was a good game, but it's like in spite of GW's rules and not because of them. I'm really happy the tournament still won CAD, won FOC, but everyone's whining to get formations in the game, and I understand that they want to play their stuff. It's just if that happens, I don't really want to play in that tournament. It's just the way it is. I'm like, oh, it's a POC now. Well, I'll just stay at home. So I don't know.
I just don't have faith in human beings, and that's why I don't play in tournaments or pickup games.
I don't know. Maybe 8th edition will get it right if there's anyone left. We'll see. But anyway,
this 8-year-olds will still be around.
This was a good game. Let's end on a positive note. This was a good game. This was our ideal game. This was close. It went back and forth. We had some spills and chills, but it came down to one victory point. And 40k is win-lose draw. Like you can add gradients, but it's win-lose draw, and it was a fucking close game.
It was also good because we both had serious flatulence, but neither of us had to smell the other one, so it was a good day. We stayed on, keep the distance, stay on either side of the table.
Let the winds of fate keep it away. I realized now, if I hadn't moved Isodon back, it would have been a tie. That one run roll basically decided the game in one way of thinking of it.
And me failing here because of the one guy that had...
Yeah, if you had exploded me that way, it would have been over. Like, you would have hit everybody, it would have been rough. So you're getting a glance there. It was interesting. But yeah, 40k can be good with, like, rules and restrictions. And if they introduced something like some kind of mechanism for building your army that, like, restricted what you could take based on certain contexts and whatnot, that would be interesting.
I mean, almost like
some kind of
organization
of your force.
That organizes forces,
Yeah. Because that way you could only take a certain amount of things, so to speak.
But I want 6 Riptides, and 3 Knights, and 3 Flyrants, and hiccups.
We all want
Actually, I don't want hiccups. Shit.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Do you have any final words, Carl, on the game or anything?
Oh, fuck Jervis Johnson, because I've got to say that in every video.
He's a bad guy.
I've got to say that in every video.
Yeah. Keep playing Warhammer 40k. It's a game where sociopaths and people with various mental difficulties and personality deficiencies can gather around and complain about other people not letting them use their toys.
And the enemies of fun. What are we going to call it? Codex Wallets.
Codex Wallet.
You can win the game with Codex Wallets.
Codex Wallet, 7th edition. Are you losing? Have you spent enough money? Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. We'll be making plenty of battle reports. We own this shit. We don't have to buy anything new to play this game. Hell, we can go back to 5th edition if we want to, so we will keep playing no matter what.
I accidentally bought the Ogrins.
You did?
New Ogrins, yeah.
I need some of those.
Well, I got them at a discount, 25% off.
I think we have to let the internet go now.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I think they're still looking.
Did I pull my dick out now? You said there would be pictures.
Yeah, I'm just let me get away from it. Alright, you're good. I can't see it directly. It's like the Ark of the Covenant.